The finishing line is in sight. Dedicated, determined, focused. The players on the PGA EuroPro Tour have one goal, and winning is key. Welcome to Event 10 from the East Sussex National for the Matchroom Sport Championship. A win on the tour can change a player's fortunes overnight and propel them into the top 5 players on the Order of Merit. And that's where the reward really comes in. That's what motivates these players week in, week out, because a top 5 finish at the end of the season means a category on the Challenge Tour. Well, there's plenty at stake for the players on the PGA EuroPro Tour, and also plenty of pressures as the tour heads into the second half of the season. For some, chances are running out, and for others, they're really making the most of every opportunity. And that was certainly the case at Caversham Heath, a course that debuted on the tour, and it hosted the Penta Hotels Championship. The man who took his opportunity was James Wilkinson. His final round 4 under par, 69, earned the Englishman £10,000. His second win on the EuroPro Tour. He also finds himself in the top 5 of the Order of Merit. Yet again, Mark Lasky was in the hunt of the title. He had featured in the World Snooker Golf Masters at Army Golf Club and once more found himself in contention. However, when he and close house champion Richard James failed to birdie the last, Wilkinson was crowned the King of Caversham. And this is what it's all about, the race to Desert Springs. The win takes Wilkinson up to 5th, leading the way Matthew Court, a 2-time winner on the tour. Behind him, Billy Hemstock, in 3rd, Greg Payne, and in 4th, Richard James. The men applying the pressure and filling the remaining top 10 spots include Runcie, Gain and Lasky, all of whom have featured in recent weeks. Now our attention turns to another edition on the tour, the stunning East Sussex National. Blessed with 2 championship courses, our attention focuses on the East course, 7,138 yards long, with a par 72 challenge that could result in another classic. So here's what's coming up on the show. We meet 9-year-old golfing prodigy taking inspiration from our EuroPro players. Johnny Morgan will take his own unique look at the challenges awaiting our players in Event 10.
Zippity-doo-dah! Whoa, ball!
Kit Alexander will be out on the course guiding you through the closing stages.
Well, this rain shower is making things really interesting here at East Sussex.
And of course, we'll take a look at the best bits from the final round here at the East Sussex National. It's the course that holds the key to success, and fresh challenges are met by the players week in, week out. And it's the ones that can adapt their style over the 3 rounds that are really chasing the glory. So we got our resident pro, Johnny Morgan, to take us through the challenges that face the players at the East Sussex National.
Well, East Sussex National has the glory of two golf courses, the East and the West. The players this week are playing the East, and what a golf course it is. Par 72, 7,138 yards, and you know what? It's open to the elements. It really is. It can blow a hoolie. I mean, the rough, just look at it. Here we go. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's knee high to a grasshopper. I mean, my goodness, you go in here, it's lost ball all day long. Greens also in places become very small. You know, up and down, there's big ones, there's small ones, they're undulating, they're fast. I mean, the bunkers as well, they're big, they can catch your ball. You're going to be awkward if you're short-sided, low-sided, you name it, you got it. But driving-wise, very generous off the tee in most places around this golf course. You know, you're going to be able to get the big dog out, give it a big old swipe and hopefully get it down there as far as you possibly can. But you're going to have to, because I tell you what, when the wind's up, like it is around East Sussex National, on the East course, now and again, pretty much all the time I would say actually, you know, it is a tough track. And I tell you what, anything under par is going to be an absolute bonus. Now, you look at the past champions around here. Gordon Brown Jr. lives down in my neck of the woods in Bristol. I mean, he won round here back in the 90s when it was the European Open. Unbelievable. This venue's got some serious history. Challenged her all in the 90s. David Guilford won it when it was a main tour event. Greg Chalmers won it, the Aussie, when it was a Challenge Tour event. So did Thomas Bjorn. That was one of his first ever wins as a professional. I mean, this golf course has massive history, and it's going to create a big dream for one player and one player only.
Thanks, Johnny. Now, the East Sussex National has hosted its fair share of top-flight golfing events, and Kit Alexander is going to tell us a little bit more about some of these past tournaments.
East Sussex National may only have opened in 1991, but in the 25 years since, it's hosted some of the top names in European Tour history. And 4 previous winners here, Ryder Cup players Paul Broadhurst, David Guilford, Gordon Brand Jr. and Thomas Bjorn. It's an illustrious list and a fantastic history at this wonderful venue.
The attention now turns to the players and their attempt to claim the Matchroom Sport Championship. We've already had 2 days of play here at the East Sussex National, and already some leading contenders have emerged. Curtis Griffiths carded a second round 65 and leads the Matchroom Sport Championship by 1 stroke on 9 under par, ahead of the final round.
The first round could have sort of been much better. I had 4 3-putts, which was a bit of a nightmare. It takes a good tee shot round here, which I've been playing quite well this week, so yeah.
With 4 top 10 finishes to his name already this season, a win could propel Griffiths to the all-important race to Desert Springs Order of Merit Top 5. Ashley Chesters and Peter Tarver-Jones, a 2-time winner on the EuroPro Tour, share second on 8 under, with Nick Marsh and Philip Price 2 back.
At the end of the day, if you hit the fairway, hit the green, give yourself a birdie chance, you're never going to be too far away.
Got to be patient, because the back 9, there are opportunities, but the last 4 holes, anything can happen because they are quite tricky.
I've been chipping and putting really well. I haven't made too many mistakes off the tee as well, so I hit sort of 12 out of 14 fairways, you know, for the first 2 rounds.
Well, it's tough to stay patient. You know, you could have a little run where, you know, the greens are quite small here, and then they kind of roll off the sides. You could get quite frustrated very quickly, so I think you've got to remain patient, knowing that there's birdie chances out there.
Price finished second in the European Open at East Sussex National in 1993. Well, the heavens have opened as the players head down the first, so let's get straight to the action and join your commentators Gary Ellis, but first Simon Golding.
Oh, thanks very much, Sian. Yes, welcome to another eclectic week on this amazing season so far on the EuroPro Tour. And here at the Matchroom Sport Championship, after 2 rounds, Curtis Griffiths has that single shot lead over Ashley Chesters and a previous winner on this tour, Peter Tarver-Jones. But your eye is automatically drawn, isn't it, to Philip Price. I wonder what the Ryder Cup player can do across these final 18 holes. Well, once again, we're getting a bit of a mixed bag with regard to the weather. The course will be enjoying this, but the players will not. Jack Colgate then trying to muscle this one in. 5 under at the moment, and that is a very nice shot into the first green. So Colgate with a solid start, and he's not the only one. Matthew Court started the day at 1 under, 8 shots off the leader, but an eagle on the par 5 second set the tone for a remarkable front 9, and he followed that eagle up with birdies at the 5th and 6th, and bogeyed the next 2 unfortunately, but he starts the back 9 certainly in touch. So Matthew Court, 2-time winner on the tour this season, looking very good indeed. Now, can Colgate get things off to a flyer? Let's watch this putt with Gary Ellis alongside me.
Thank you, Simon. And a lovely start there from Colgate, going in nice and firm. Took any break out of that one and whoosh, off to a flyer.
Yes, right on cue. Well done to Jack. Now Court, after that blistering start, needs to try and hang on to this if he's going to post a decent clubhouse score.
Yeah, lovely shot.
Oh, delicately done. This man's got it all in the bag, hasn't he?
He's played very, very well this season, and he is extremely experienced, Matt Court. Good player, calm demeanour, nice man.
Now the wonderfully named Ryan O'Neill. Wonder if he can provide us with a blockbuster finish over this final round. Trailing by 4 at the moment. Yeah, that'll do nicely. You can see the breeze has really dropped. I think this course is very attackable at the moment.
Yeah, the rain just softened it a little bit because it's been quite fast running, and as Court taps in after that very good little pitch up from down by the water hazard for his birdie.
So Ryan has moved the ball to here with that first putt, looking to go to 6 under, and with every opportunity, and that's exactly what he's done. So well done to Ryan O'Neill. Right, time to hear from Johnny Morgan. He's out on the course at the first.
Well, what a start to the East course here at the first. 361 yards into the teeth of the wind today and slightly off the right hand side. Makes it difficult though for the second shot, not particularly for the drive, because it's the size of a football pitch. It really is. I mean, you can't miss it. But the second shot is where it lies. I mean, it's 17 deep on the left and 19 deep on the right hand side, so it's a very shallow green. You know, you have to get your club in bang on the button. You've got this big load of water just in front of it, so if it drifts up, holds up into that wind and floats and comes back at you while you're swimming. Now, I've only got about 112, but that breeze really into me. Out with the wedge, back of the stance, try and control my ball flight nice and low. If I get it wrong, I tell you what, could rack up a big number on what you might think is an easy hole. Right, come on. Well, I tell you what, I'm starting off with a double, maybe a triple. That is a tough job. Up in that wind, just held it up, straight back into the water, rack up a massive number. But just look at the size of this green. I mean, wise from that distance, you're talking 40, 50 yards. You really are. I mean, that's massive. But like I say, 19 here, 17 back there. If you are going to miss it, anything around the back of this green gives you actually an uphill chip. And it's not actually that tough, is it? I mean, look at it. Here, I'd fancy my chances. Look at here, uphill shot here, no matter if the pin was over there and I'm back here as well, same applies all day long. Definitely take that one more club here at the first. Make sure you're past all that rubbish that's at the front of that green. Don't want to go in there.
Wentworth man Curtis Griffiths then, about to take this first on. That fabulous round of 65 yesterday, Gary, to put him to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, played beautifully, well in control of it, some great golf. And that's a very nice approach to that first green.
Looking very relaxed indeed, Griffiths out there, and achieving what he wanted to achieve. And you can see from this first approach shot, relaxed, in control. So far, so good. Kit is down at the green.
When you're leading the tournament, all you want to do on the first hole is find the fairway and then the green. That's exactly what Curtis Griffiths has done here. The bonus is 20 foot uphill for birdie.
Yes, very good indeed. And Matthew Court on his back nine now. I used the word eclectic at the start of this round, Gary. And that's what this season feels like. We've got young and old out there contesting. It's a wonderful mix.
Yeah, I've actually said that to several people, Simon, this year. We've had a great mix of players who are approaching the Seniors Tour and people who've been on the European Tour, and some very good young players, as we just watched Matt Court hit in there, get the ball running back off that little slope. Another chance for a birdie.
Griffiths then, a man that is a product of the Wentworth Golf Scholarship Programme. And a very good one as well. We'll be a little disappointed with that, but his tied 7th finish at Caversham Heath last week, his 6th at Longhurst Hall, just an indication that he's arriving in that top tier.
Yeah, playing himself into contention every week is good for the bank balance, and hopefully keep knocking on the door at Lowton for a win.
Luke Cornford with his third shot at the par 5 second, and chances there for Luke.
Cracking bunker shot there, really skidded the club under the ball fast to get it up high, and a lot of backspin.
Well, Ryan has already scored. He'll be left with a lot of chips like this here at the East Sussex National. It's got some quite subtle protection. As you walk round, you're not always aware of it, but from the air you can see it.
You can. There's a lot of runoffs, interesting shaped greens, not as undulating as some courses, but runoffs, so you're very often going to be chipping off an upslope to the pin.
Cornford moves himself to 6 under, one of a growing group of players that are starting to make a move nice and early. What sort of number can this man set? It could have been so much better than 4 under. I won't want to remind Matthew Court of that. But yes, still trundling along nicely. So back to 5 under for Matthew Court and looking in business.
So, Neil following that nice little pitch up. And I think he hit that exactly where he wanted to, but it just never moved. I would have given him on that right lip there.
Well, that's a shame for O'Neill. Classic 1 step forward, 1 step back, I'm afraid, at the start of this round. Yes, might not be the only player to suffer a few holes like that, but not too much news to report at the start of the final 18. It's one of those rounds that looks like someone is just waiting to light the blue touch paper. Now, the East Sussex has played host to many notable championships over the years, as Steve Graham, the golf operations manager, explains.
The course was built in the early 90s and it's hosted European Opens, many major events. We've now got a 104-bedroom hotel on site, which works for these larger events, and the courses have stood up to the test of time. Although the distances these young lads hit it these days, it's starting to show its age. I think the players have enjoyed it. I think it's played probably softer in the sense of the fact the ground's been firm, the weather's been very good. I think they probably found it a little bit short in places, but today the weather's supposed to come in, and it'll be a different challenge. I think we've had 3 different challenges on 3 different days.
And Curtis Griffiths is taking up that challenge on the East Sussex National, protecting a slender lead. The chasing pack, though, hard on his heels in the Matchroom Sport Championship.
Welcome back to the East Sussex National. Now, many European Tour members have won here, from Gordon Brand Jr. in '93, David Guilford in '94, Paul Broadhurst in 1990, and in 1995, Thomas Bjorn. So, who will join that illustrious list today? Let's find out.
Thanks very much, Sian. Yes, it's nuts out there, but Griffiths leading by just a single shot, ahead of a previous winner on this tour, Tarver Jones, and the man that had such a fabulous amateur career, Ashley Chesters. They are looking in good shape. Now, Cornford has made a move in this final round, managed to get 1 shot back from the course. I wonder what the final score today is going to be. It feels like a day to attack, but this course can bite.
It can, but as I said earlier, with the soft conditions, so long as the wind doesn't blow, then I would think there's a good score out there.
Worthing Golf Club man, 2-time winner on the EuroPro Tour. Peter Tarver Jones, a little heavy-handed there from the bunker, the man that won at Prince's and the Oxfordshire. Will be heading to the Oxfordshire in the next couple of weeks. Back to Cornford then.
Pretty big swing on this one, as you see it come up and over the rise. Not quite as big as he's guesstimated.
Yes, guesstimation, such a vital part of this game, but you get it right and you win tournaments. Peter Tarver Jones then for birdie to go 1 step closer to double figures under the card. Great putt back from him. That's a nice up and down for the man from West Sussex. Plying his trade very nicely down here on the south coast. Graduated from the EuroPro Tour a couple of years ago. And the 27-year-old Englishman who turned pro back in 2013, starting to build a very, very nice career indeed. And we caught up with him ahead of this final round.
Peter, it's been a solid season so far after last year on the Challenge Tour. How do you assess it up to this point?
Yeah, like you said, solid. Very consistent. Been playing some good golf, but obviously sometimes you'd rather be inconsistent if when you are doing well you win or top 3. Sometimes just making cuts doesn't really do too much, but when you are on the hunt, you just got to make sure that you make the most of it.
And having won twice a couple of seasons ago, you must have good vibes about knowing how to get this done today.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Especially around this place as well. I think the course suits me well. Similar to the Oxfordshire actually, it's quite long, it's quite a fair course with quick greens, so yeah, definitely suits me. You can be aggressive around this golf course, like there's lots of drivers around it, so your game plan I think is always quite aggressive around here. It is in my case anyway, so I'm just going to stick to my game plan with what I have been doing, which has been aggressive anyway, so hopefully that rewards with birdies.
So from one player trying to make the big show to a man who's been there, seen it, done it.
He certainly has, and he's got an interesting little shot here because the branch of the tree's just in his way. There's a little half a swing with a fairly straight-faced club, a long chip and run.
Oh, very nice from Matthew Court. Kid Alexander's down there to assess the situation.
Our Race to Desert Springs leader Matt Court has made a really positive start to his final round here. He's 4 under par. He's just hit a terrifically inventive little shot in under the tree. It's rolled just past the pin. Looked like it might go in for a moment, but he's got another good chance for a birdie.
Back out to the course, and the par 3 fourth. Luke Cornford trailing by 3 at the moment at 6 under.
I like Cornford's swing. It goes up and down, no funny bends and loops and things in it. And here we are, another cracking golf shot, absolutely pin high.
Yeah, a lot of sports now looking towards this phrase, repeatable action. You get it with cricket and the bowlers. Is it a repeatable action? And if your golf swing is, then that's good. Well, a little bumble there out of the fringe from Ryan O'Neill, but I can tell you he goes on to get his birdie, so pulls that shot back again.
Now Matt Court just on the right lip with this one. And it didn't move in at all, but it took the necessary.
Yeah, eventually was right lip, wasn't it?
It was.
Very nicely done, yes.
Glad he smiled. I'm glad he agreed with me, and it was just on the right lip.
So he's heading towards a decent clubhouse score, but not sure it's going to be enough today with the likes of Tarver Jones already at 9 under. Oh dear. Well, bunker's not a problem for the modern player, but he's going to have a little test there. Now back to Cornford.
Coming across the green, slightly downhill.
Oh, nails it for birdie.
Absolutely superb. It was never looked anywhere else. Lovely putt.
7 under, 2 off the lead then for a very confident looking Cornford. Our leader at the start of the day has been caught, Curtis Griffiths, but he, for me, has looked very calm out there.
That's a remarkably good bunker shot. Again, with that slightly damp sand, it's much easier to skip the club under the ball, get a little bit of backspin. Could argue he got a touch too much because he left himself a yard away. Now, what can Tarver Jones do? Pretty similar. Good shot, didn't quite get as much backspin, but okay, it's 10 feet past, but a reasonable chance, fairly flat putt.
He's already made one of those back today for an up and down. Griffiths then for his own up and down for a birdie. Oh yes, I told you he was looking calm out there, and that will certainly settle the nerves. The first man to move to double figures under the card.
As we go back on the third, just want to keep this one just inside the hole. Kept it inside the hole but didn't hit it hard enough. That is frustrating.
Yes, one of those things out on the golf course that the pros will tell you gets to them the most. But it's a good reflection of how you're feeling when those things happen. A little bit tight there from Tarver Jones. Now, very different putt here for Court.
Giving it a fair old rap, it's tracking. Gosh, that was a big swing. Beautiful judgment of pace, but big swing leaves himself probably just over a yard.
Player that we haven't seen too much of on the EuroPro Tour recently, but a very talented player indeed, Alex Wrigley. 5 under at the moment with his second into this par 4 fifth. 5 shots to find if he wants to get back into contention, and well, that'll do for starters. Nice control from the back of the green.
as we can see, back on the 6th tee, Luke Cornford winding himself up with the driver.
It was out there somewhere, and there it is.
Oh. Wow, that's a mighty blow.
No mighty blow required here, though, for Court to hang on to 6 under. Yeah, good stuff. And I think he'll take that, Matthew Court. Playing for me like a man with no pressure at the moment. Those 2 wins on the tour so far this year, just underlining the quality of the 41-year-old Englishman. And a man that has a very definite plan about moving forward with regard to his professional career, and doing it very nicely indeed. Kind of rewarding his decision, isn't it, to take this route back into the big time?
Yeah, he's looked very comfortable, and I've spoken to him a few times this year, and he's full of confidence.
Oh, and how's that from Wrigley? So that takes him to 6 under. There's a massive amount of players all within about a shot of each other, around about the 6-7 mark. I wonder if anyone can make a break from there, or are the likes of Tarver Jones and Griffiths going to be able to just shut the door? Cornford is one of those players. He's on a roll.
He certainly is, and the greens are putting beautifully. I mean, very smooth. The roll is there, and beautiful conditions on them.
Little flurry of action here at the Matchroom Sport Championship, and it means that we've got some changes on that leaderboard. Curtis Griffiths, for the first time at this tournament, has a 2-shot lead, moving to 10 under the card. But as I said, there's a whole cluster of players there that could cause him some serious problems as this final round goes on. It's going to be a fascinating watch over the next couple of hours. Now, Court needs to keep moving forward, needs to get to the clubhouse with something that's going to challenge the other players. Maybe we'll get another bit of a weather front moving through that could change things. Well, one of the more undulating holes on this course, but steady as you like.
Here we are. This is what we were talking about, Simon. If you miss these greens, you're nearly always pitching to 3, 4, 5 feet above where the ball is, and you've got to make sure you've got a bit of green.
So, Gary, let's take a look at the 5th from the air.
Yeah, this is a tremendous par 4, 460 yards. Fairway quite narrow, mustn't lose the ball too far to the right, some thick woods over there. But again, it requires a good straight hit. This little brook that's in front of the green doesn't really come into play at all for these players. Fairly big, almost sort of rectangular green. And as you can see, the 4 bunkers dotted about.
Well, I have to say, the course after that little sprinkling of rain has greened up, and it is looking absolutely beautiful. Not that that will concern Peter Tarver Jones with his approach. Oh no, doesn't like it. Well, just came out of it a bit, but it's not as bad as it could have been.
No, the body language looked much worse than the result. But yeah, ball was fractionally below his feet, and as you say, Simon, he just stood up a bit quick, and which is why the ball's about 20 feet to the right of where he wanted it to be.
Good indication then of just how hard some of the chasing pack are working to get their scoring chances. Now, is that a bit hot? Oh, well, that's the only thing that could have slowed that one down, and Matthew Court will take it.
Yeah, that's a difficult bunker shot from that distance, and very easy to get too little sand, which obviously he did. But the backstop of the pin came to his rescue.
Cornford. First bit of saving work that he's had to do for a while, and taps that in to drop back from 8 under to 7 under, and what looked like a bit of momentum for Cornford has come to a rather abrupt halt. Now, still a chance here for Peter Tarver Jones.
Yeah, as you can see, just coming up that hill, green a bit softer, and just didn't give it enough acceleration to get it there.
So slightly fortuitous, but it has left Matthew Court with this opportunity, which he takes with both hands. You've got to hand it to him, so to speak. When the opportunities are there, this man knows how to do it. 7 under for Matthew Court. That's starting to look very tasty indeed. Tarver Jones to hang on to 8 under.
It's funny, just a couple of times on the putting over these opening holes. His follow-through hasn't been quite as long as he would normally want. Nearly always, if the follow-through is a bit shorter than the backswing, putter's not accelerating fast enough, and often the ball won't hold its line.
Now, as far as the eye can see, you've got players like this on the EuroPro Tour. Very talented, takes his game really seriously, works hard in the gym, really to become the well-rounded professional that these guys know they have to be, and he's gonna have to find a bit of a touch there with that one.
Yeah, it just looked a bit awkward. Hopefully we'll see what happens when he comes back. As we take a look at Ashley Chesters, he of the tremendous amateur career.
Two-time European amateur winner. That gave him the entry into the Open, which he performed very well at indeed. And we'll see more of Chesters, I'm sure, as this season goes on. Oh, Wrigley. How about that? Well, we said he needed some touch, and he has found it.
He certainly found the touch, because that was not easy. That was a bonus, because I'm sure he was not expecting to hole that one.
A Billy bonus, as our esteemed colleague Johnny Morgan would call it. Maybe in a slightly different accent, but that's very good from Wrigley. Moves to 6 under as our leader at 10 under attacks this 5th green. So looking good for Curtis Griffiths as we move from the 5th to the 15th.
Yeah, another really good par 4 coming towards the end of the round, 471 yards. On a good straight tee shot out between these trees. Some bunkers on the left, which again probably won't trouble these players, then leaving a long iron or maybe even a little hybrid into this green, which has a couple of definite ridges in it, so they're really looking to try and make sure they pick the right club and get on the same level as the pin.
Yeah, a lot of club players will tell you there's some reward for getting the hybrid out at this time of year. Do the pros use it that much?
Yeah, I think a lot do. You know, it's like a lot of things with tournament players. They probably have 18 or 19 clubs and then pick the 14 that they want. But a course like East Sussex lends itself to carrying a hybrid.
Court still looking solid. Back to Griffiths. Golden opportunity here to extend his lead. At the 5th, putt for 11 under. Well, it was coming back. Got the line right, but not for the first time today from our players. The pace not quite there.
Yeah, and as we said, Simon, I think just one or two have been fooled by that little bit of early morning rain.
Yes, just another element to add into that whole idea of reading the greens. Now Chester's tall, rangy, former amateur superstar, we can call him. I think we're going to see this man make a really good go of it in the pro ranks, and a birdie moves him to 9 under, starting to look the real deal out there. Playing alongside the leader, Curtis Griffiths, so he's going to have a really good idea of exactly where Griffiths is today. This for par.
Ooh, that was nasty. I mean, he really wasn't very far away there, but it was a very nasty sort of jab at it.
So we've got another change on the leaderboard. It's the type of change that Curtis Griffiths won't like to see. An error from him means that Ashley Chester's birdie puts them both at 9 under at the Matchroom Sport Championship. Now, of course, as such as the East Sussex National, when they stage a championship like this, it takes a lot of hard work, most of which is done behind the scenes, and some of it under the cover of darkness.
It's pretty much the name of the game, really, is to get up early, get out there in the small window of opportunity ahead of the golf and do all the different things we need to do.
Got a team of 20. It's a good team, it's a big team. They're efficient and they get the job done within the time, and it is only just in time. My favourite feature is probably when you're standing on the 6th tee. The rough there is pretty good and you can see a lot of the golf course. So it's just a nice place to look back and see all the work you've done, and it shows what the team have done, and that's the important part.
It's got to be 10 east for me, down at the bottom there, you know, by the lake. The green always looks looks nice, and putting a lot of work down there on that hole to try and tidy it up, keep it looking good. It's something to work towards. We've all been building towards it. You know, you tell your friends and family that your work's going to be on TV. And there's not many jobs, you know, generally speaking, where your job, what you've been working on is going to be sort of able to be shown off in that way. So yeah, we're hugely proud of it. Yeah.
There's a lot of other golf courses around here that'll be looking at it, just going out curiosity to see how good it is and what the presentations are like. And yeah, I think the guys this year really nailed it on the head.
Welcome back to the fabulous East Sussex National and final round action from the Matchroom Sport Championship. Simon Golding and Gary Ellis with you for the coverage of this close to the 10th tournament of this season. And so far so good for Ashley Chester's. Curtis Griffiths, who started the day at 9 under, will be kicking himself. Couldn't advance to 11 under when he had the opportunities, and unfortunately conceding a few shots, finding himself in a tie for that lead. And all of that means that the chasing pack will still feel that they're very much in the game. Peter Tarver-Jones amongst them at 7 under with his third into this 7th, and that is great control from him. Slow down, that'll do.
We go across to the 12th to pick up Alex Wrigley, throwing the ball mighty high up over the edge of the big tree guarding the front of the green, and playing a marvellous shot.
Fabulous stuff from him. Now here's a man that could throw the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons, Matthew Court, heading for a decent clubhouse score.
Go, go.
Oh, I think he knows he needed that.
Good try.
He's got to get close to 10, maybe 11 under, I think, to put some real pressure on. And that'll be one that he may come to rue at the end of the day.
So Peter Tarver-Jones, this putt for his birdie, and very nicely done.
Moves to 8 under. Little acknowledgement there for the gallery, for the man from Worthing Golf Club. Very nicely done. Now we've seen this man drain a couple of crackers today, Wrigley. It's a bit more straightforward, but done very comfortably indeed. Right then, let's go from the 12th to the 7th, where we catch up with Johnny Morgan.
Well, here you go. Here's the course plan of 573 yards to 7th, and what a great detail it is. And it really is what it says on the tin there. You know, I've put my ball in the region of about 310 yards. This hole normally plays 9 times out of 10 downwind. It is the normal breeze around East Sussex now. I mean, the second shot, oh my goodness. I mean, you look at it, it's a very shallow green, about 10 foot on, there's a big swell and it all falls off at the front again. If you haven't got length in your armoury, you probably have to lay up to about 120, way up there on the right hand side, and it gives you a lovely angle into this green. But anything kind of long, if you've got length in your armoury, like I say, and you're going with 3-wood or a hybrid, and you can get it there's this big bank that guards the back end of this green. So if the ball comes in at 100 mile an hour, it will be able to hold the ball up, and then you'll have a little chip down onto a green that really slickened down and away from you. But I'm going to give it a crack here. I've got it in the region of about 270 yards, but the wind is howling. It is off my right hand side and down. I need some height on it. Hybrid out on a Thunderbolt. Here we go. Let's see what I got. This one's going to have some serious hang time. Well, he's drifting. He's on the pin. Has he got it to get up? I don't know. I seen the bounce. Oh, I think I got lucky. It's hopped up on the top, and I think that's run to the back right end of the green. But what a hole, what a par 5, the 7th. And I tell you what, this could be a make or break for your front 9.
Griffiths has come up just short in 2 here, but he's left a very tricky 3rd. He's going to lead a Mickelson-esque flop shot to get it over the bunker and stop it on that green.
So joint leader Griffiths could have been so much better. And the first time we've seen him look a little bit ruffled out there on the course. Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. Interesting, because it was in my mind. I thought, well, I wonder if he'll see it the same way as Kit did. But he actually had a good lie for tight fairway and was able to hit it in a little bit lower and get one bounce and then the spin.
Well, this tournament just got very interesting indeed. A lot of players in contention now. Amongst them, two-time winner back in 2014, Peter Tarver-Jones. Oh, it's going to be a little bit tricky from there. And it's just getting worse and worse, I'm afraid, for Peter. Oh dear.
Oh, that's ended up horrid.
Yes, he won't like that when he gets there. Now, Court, just 2 holes to try and set some sort of target.
Looking at it a little bemused, dead on line, but 1 club short.
Now, 49-year-old Welshman, 3-time winner on the European Tour, Philip Price. But 2002, his Ryder Cup appearance in that fabulous win at the Belfry when he scored that marvellous singles victory over Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, there were some great memories. Oh, 14 years ago now.
Oh, don't. Griffiths then. One of the new breed. Nicely done. Told you about that eclectic mix, and going from Price to Griffiths just underlines it perfectly. Now then, Griffiths, the 22-year-old, been a pro now for several years, but building nicely through this season. And I think he'll be delighted with the way that he's approached his golf on the EuroPro Tour. And we caught up with him before this final round.
It's an incredible bounce back from a year out of the game with glandular fever, only in 2014. So how pleased are you with how you've bounced back since then?
Yeah, that was definitely a setback. But I mean, last year I sort of just eased my way back into playing golf. And then, yeah, this year feels back to normal, really.
7th last week at Caversham Heath, so are you confident that you're coming into good form at the right time in the season?
Yeah, I've been playing pretty steady the whole year, really. Just the putts have been dropping this week, so hopefully the same today.
You've had a few top 10s this year, but without ever really kind of being in contention in the final round, it's been coming through.
Yeah.
So now you're right up there in the final round. What differences is that going to pose for you emotionally?
It's obviously in the back of my head, but hopefully nothing too serious. Just every shot as it comes, really.
Yeah, tough break for Curtis with that glandular fever problem. When it's a muscular injury or a joint injury, you kind of know why you're out, but very frustrating, that kind of illness. But he's back and playing well. Now, birdie opportunity for Court. It was always an outside chance, but he's been putting well today.
Yeah, he has. He's been well in control of the speed on the greens, and that was another fine effort.
Back to the Ryder Cup star, Philip Price. Turns 50 later this year, and in this kind of form, look out seniors.
Yep, he'll certainly be there making an impression with the older gentleman.
Tarver-Jones then was left with this smelly one. Hit and hope, really.
That was very hard. It's one of those areas of sort of course management that you really know that it's there when you've done your planning and preparation, and stay away from it, and he didn't manage to.
Well, another great 2-putt from Matthew Court. 5 under so far on the back 9. So it's been a really excellent effort, but just wonder, even if he birdies 18, whether that's going to be enough for a clubhouse lead to threaten the rest. Now, Tarver-Jones, is this going to be one of those little silent up and downs that gets under the radar? No, I'm afraid it isn't. So a tap in, but he's going to drop a shot and move back to 7 under. Now, while this tour focuses on players of the future, and in particular those that have just turned pro, here at the East Sussex National, they've unearthed an even younger star. 9-year-old Ethan Randall has just won the Under-12 Sussex Championship, and Sian caught up with him for a quick chat.
How did you get into it? Tell me all about it.
Well, it happened when my dad was working at a house, and he cleared out a garage and he found some golf clubs, and before I was into it, it was me and my sisters, and then I started having lessons down Horham, and I really enjoyed it, and then I came down to the Sussex National.
So tell me, what's your goal? What's your dream?
To be just like Rory McIlroy. I really he's such a good player. Just want to be like him, really.
And what about your granddad?
My granddad, he's really supportive, and like he's behind me all the way.
So if you were going to inspire another lad or girl your age, just tell us what goes into being good or getting better.
Well, what you want to do is just keep at it. Like, say you hit a bad shot in the hole, the next shot's the most important. Just because, like, say you were to go in the water, you could just like forget that and then hit another shot and you'll hit it clean. And then, like, you'll keep on doing that routine until you'll cut all the bad shots out. But then even the best players hit bad shots.
Oh, fabulous stuff. Thanks, Ethan. We wish him all the best for the future. Now, in terms of the future of this final round, Griffiths has reclaimed the lead by a single shot. And it's Matthew Court that's trying to set a number for the clubhouse. He needs a birdie here at 18.
Yeah, I think he's got to have a birdie to set some sort of target for the others to worry them. That's another very good approach, but it's going to be a 20-25 footer that he's going to have to sink if he's going to get that birdie.
Now Chester's in amongst it, the Hawkston Park man, the 27-year-old from Shropshire. Tall, rangy player, but he makes that count for him on courses like this. Oh, but that's going to test a different skill set for Chester's. Now, good tournament so far here at the East Sussex National, rounds of 67 and 69 to put him in contention, and he looks to be flying in this final round, but we caught up with him before he teed off today.
Ashley, many of our viewers will have seen you finish tied 12th at the Open Championship at St Andrews last year. How significant a moment was that for you in your golfing life?
Well, it was obviously a nice one, and I guess it'll help for days like today when there's a bit of pressure on you, to know that when there is some pressure on, I can play well.
Yeah, how much confidence does it give you playing with the best players in the world, beating many of them and being right there in contention?
Yeah, it was good, but that was as an amateur, and I think there's a bit of a different pressure on you once you're professional. So I need to start doing it as a professional, and then we'll see. You
had a wonderful record as an amateur. Aside from that Open performance, what was the highlight for you?
The European Amateur, obviously. To defend it, be the first person to defend it was probably the highlight. Yeah, because it's going down in history really. To be the first person to do it twice, yeah, probably that one.
One shot behind heading into the final round. So how do you approach it today?
I'm just going to go and do the lowest score I can do and see where that puts me at the end of the day. Obviously, the weather might be a bit different today. First 2 days have been lovely. So you don't really know what a good score is going to be out here, so just go around on the lowest number I can and see where it puts me at the end of the day.
Yes, and there lies the rub. That's a very well made point. An amateur playing at the Open, I don't think there's the kind of pressure that we're talking about for a young professional now setting out in his career, putting to put food on the table essentially.
No, there is a big difference, you know, as an amateur. It's a bit all or nothing. If you're in amateur events, you win the medal, whatever it is, and it doesn't really matter if you come second or third. But once you turn pro, the prize money to third, to fourth, to fifth, to fund the next week, as you say, to put food on the table, it's a different mindset.
Matthew Court looking for that birdie to finish what will be a fabulous back nine for him. Didn't quite happen. Strange to say after such a superb effort over the closing 9, but he's going to set a number in the clubhouse, but it's not really going to put anybody under pressure. Now Chester's, I said he required different skills from there, hasn't quite found it, and he's left himself another tricky one.
No, it's awkward, but again another example of how you mustn't miss these greens on the wrong side as we watch Matthew Court finishing up his round. And it's a wonderful round of golf, off to a lovely start with the eagle and 2 birdies, then a couple of drop shots, but a wonderful back 9. And let's hear from him.
I got off to a good start. I think I was 4 under after 6, and then bogeyed 7 and 8, which kind of put a stop on things. But then, you know, made some birdies on the back 9, and then just nice to finish it off without any drop shots. Back in 31, I think I was, so yeah, it's good.
Yeah, one of the good guys, Matthew Court, leading the Midlands Order of Merit for a good number of seasons now, but choosing to make his way back into the game via the EuroPro Tour. Now, Curtis Griffiths, birdie opportunity, outside chance, but He'll want to preserve this 10 under and try and kick on at some point. And in terms of those plans, that will do very nicely indeed for the man from Wentworth. Tough one, this.
Yeah, this is, you know. It was a good shot into the green, just missed, chip to there. But that really does show the steel of Chester's. That's extremely good.
Coping very well with that pressure that he mentioned. Curtis Griffiths then moving himself to 10 under, just that one shot lead ahead of his nearest challenger, Ashley Chesters, and a fabulous 65 from Matthew Court puts him in the clubhouse at 8 under. So things getting very interesting indeed at the Matchroom Sport Championship. Griffiths then holding on to that one shot lead, but it's tight out there at the East Sussex National. More after the break.
Welcome back to the HotelPlanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour here at the East Sussex National for the Matchroom Sport Championship. It's tight at the top, could be a very interesting afternoon, so let's rejoin our commentators.
Thank you very much, Sian. Now, because nobody has made a real break for it here in the Matchroom Sport Championship, it means that we've still got a very wide open tournament. Matthew Court will sit and watch in the clubhouse at 8 under. I think that score is going to be beaten, but it's going to be very close over these final stages. A couple of players moving into contention. Tied 5th at the moment is this man, Andrew Cheese, from your neck of the woods, Sutton Coldfield.
Yeah, he's from Sutton, and a good player. Played a lot of regional events and now plies his trade out here on the EuroPro Tour.
Now let's take a look at the 16th coming up.
Yeah, this is a very tough par 3 over water, playing well over par. Got to carry the ball all the way to this sort of kidney-shaped green that again is wide but not that deep, protected by deep bunkers. A tough hole.
Now, talking of bunkers, Jack Colgate, you wouldn't believe it, he's developed a reputation as a bit of a guru from the sand. If you want to know how to get out of the sand and onto the green, this is the man to talk to. But no concerns in that department. Fabulous.
A stunning approach from Tava Jones has left himself no more than 20 feet for eagle. It's downhill, right to left. There's a lot of swing in it, but what a chance this is.
Possible game changer here then, Gary?
Yeah, this could have a big impact on what's going to happen. Again, I don't think he's hit it hard enough, has he?
Nearly made us eat our words, but I'm afraid, no, not quite enough pace again. We'll have to settle for a birdie, but what could have been, and he knows it as well. Now, Mr. Cheese, bizarre record on the EuroPro Tour. So talented, but he's missed every cut this season. He missed 11 cuts in 2015, but he's a winner because he won at Slaley Hall. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's there's something letting him down.
He's got the ability, though. We know that. He knows that. And he's looking good this week. Now back to Philip Price, the Welshman. Going to try and conjure something up here out of the semi-rough. Sounded nice. Oh, needed a bit of luck. Didn't quite get it.
No, it didn't, and it looks as though it's hopped into that rather thicker grass.
Test of your skills, Mr. Price. Now Colgate.
Not too much break in this one.
Oh, come on. Moves him to 5 under. Maybe there's something for Jack Colgate out there today. He's happy. And why wouldn't you be? Well done. Back to Cheese then. After that fabulous chip, this to stay at 6 under for the Midlander. Solidly done. Now Price, a little bit of magic required from the Welshman.
certainly is. It's I think the ball's actually just out of the really thick grass, but as you could see, he had to pick the backswing up very quickly to not get tangled in that foot-high grass. That's probably about as good as he could do from there.
Yes, I often wonder if we said to players before they hit their shots, right, place the ball where you realistically think you can get this. I wonder how many times we'd be close to that mark. 18 then for Cheese, looking for a strong finish. He's got a chance of getting it as well. Well, eagle opportunity missed by Tarver Jones, but still got the birdie. Nips it off the top of the sand, and that's pretty well done.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think for how good the lie is, he'll be probably slightly disappointed. It was a very well played bunker shot, but just a little bit too much force, and it came out where we could see, just a little bit too long.
Another man, though, that knows how to win on this tour is Tarver Jones, and this man just knows how to win. 3 victories on the European Tour for Philip Price. And a very, very nice up and down from there. I think he'll take that, certainly. And the Welshman, well, he's an absolute gentleman. And it is a real privilege to see the 49-year-old out there as part of this week's field. He's a quietly spoken man, but on his day, he's deadly. And we caught up with him before the final round.
Philip, you're nicely positioned on the leaderboard here, and it's not the first time you've been in contention at East Sussex National. Back in 1993, you finished second in the European Open here, so what will you be drawing on from that experience?
I mean, that was a great week. I mean, if I remember then, I was losing my card comfortably and I needed a good finish, so I mean, I was relieved to finish second, so I was pleased. Obviously the course suits me a little bit, you know, from there, and I'm playing pretty good this week. Hopefully it carries on the same.
You've had a number of fantastic years on the European Tour in your career, in the top 10 in the order of merit twice. What were the highlights for you?
I think probably, I mean, Ryder Cup's a big thing for me, what I'll be remembered for. I think winning the European Open was a very important one for me, you know, all the best players there, managing to pull that off. I finished second in a World Tour event at the NEC, you know, they were big times for me.
Having played at that level, what's it like to kind of do it against some younger guys coming up here on the EuroPro Tour?
Yeah, I mean, this is a little different. It's different to the tour, but I lost my card about 2 years ago, so I'm 50 in October, so I'm kind of preparing for that. You know, this is a good place to play. You know, 3-day tournament, good competition, good golf courses. This is a great place for young people, I think, to develop. They play ready for the tour, and I am surprised. There's some good players here.
Well said, Phil Price, as we go across and have a look at Andrew Cheese putting for his birdie on the 18th. Can he round off in style? Yes, he can. That's a lovely little fist pump.
Yeah, a little reminder of the quality that this man possesses, and that is a solid final round of 67.
It certainly is. No drop shots and several birdies to take him to 5 under par.
I think we can safely say Andrew Cheese is back in business. Now Tarver Jones, been an up and down final round for this man. And trials and tribulations continue. At least he hit that one. Now then, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Curtis Griffiths still not relenting. Still has that single shot lead over Ashley Chester's. Amazingly, Matthew Court's 8 under in the clubhouse, still looking very healthy indeed. And Andrew Cheese finishing just a shot behind him, but there's a bunch of players out there that can still make a difference. This young man amongst them, Hillsborough Golf Club man, Joe Dean, a 66 on the second day. That's what put him back into contention in his first EuroPro Tour season. Good finish at Longhurst Hall, where he tied 3rd. And the 2015 English Men's Amateur Champion with a very solid shot.
Yeah, fine approach. Should have a chance of converting that.
Now Wrigley at 16.
Lovely looking par 3 this over the water.
And that breeze has got a little bit to do with the putts today.
Yeah, I think it has. I think the rain slowed them, and the bit of breeze there. You know, that putt was not really pretty high wide and not very handsome.
That was not a problem though for Joe Dean. After that fabulous approach, rolls it in. Wry smile from him. maybe one of those what could have been smiles. We saw a lovely picture of him alongside Phil Price in Phil Price's interview. There's been a lot of players, I can tell you, this week wandering around and pointing and saying, look, that's Phil Price. I wonder if he's aware of that.
Oh, I think there is. I think you're bound to notice these things. But I think it's very, very good for the young players to have this opportunity to mix with proven tour winners. It's you can sort of rubs off, I think.
Yeah, Wrigley looking for a save, this time with the breeze on his back. Oh, no. Quite an angular setup for his putting. But unfortunately on that occasion, it didn't drop, and problems there for Wrigley. Concedes a shot now. Griffiths, he knows that he's got company from Ashley Chesters. He knows it's tight out there. How well can the man from Wentworth hold his nerve? Oh, skips on.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, you know, with the fact that he had the whole season out last year with illness. It will be interesting to see how he rallies to the pressure.
Beautiful look to this shot from behind Tarver Jones, but that's a lot of terrain to negotiate. Oh, well, he was trying to move it in that shape, but not that far.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was amazing bounce there to just catch that. Very unlucky, because I think he played exactly the shot he wanted, a big high flying fade, which he got, but then a nasty bounce.
Griffiths from the sand. A little bit of green to work with, and he's done that nicely. I think the problem for him was coming across that amount of sand before he was able to get some control on the ball. But playing partners very appreciative. They've played well out of some quite damp bunkers today.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the quality of the sand, the consistency is very good, and these guys practice a lot. And here's Tarver Jones trying to play a sort of bunker shot out of the fluffy grass, and he's done it very well.
He's playing with a smile on his face today. I think he's playing without much pressure this year, and it's showing. Great shot from Tarver Jones. Now Chester's golden opportunity here to put the pressure back on the leader, Griffiths.
You may have just noticed, I just took a little hop after it had gone about 6 feet, and that jump in the air threw it offline.
Yeah, a lot of traffic over these greens, but they are in beautiful condition. That's the way it is at a 3-day tournament. These guys know that. Good birdie, very hard-working birdie from Tarver Jones to move himself back to 8 under. Feeling quite at home, I think, here in Sussex is Peter. Now Griffiths to hang on to 10 under. We've already seen a little two-shot swing like this earlier in the tournament.
We have. This is important, just outside the right lip. And beautifully read, beautifully executed.
This time, no trouble at all. I think he's just happy to be back and playing, and he'll take whatever he can get, Griffiths. And so that puts pressure back on Chester's. Wonderful little bit of match play here. And he deals with it well, so stays at 9 under and stays just a single shot behind Griffiths. Well, it's a good place to attack from Chester's. And at the moment, this tournament, a little bit of a head-to-head between those two. Can anybody else get in amongst it? Tarver Jones looks to be the man that can do some damage, but we will see. The Matchroom Sport Championship warming up very nicely. Curtis Griffiths then hanging on to that narrow advantage at the top of the leaderboard. Ashley Chesters still chasing hard and looking for the big breakthrough here at the East Sussex National.
Hello and welcome back to the HotelPlanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour here at the East Sussex National for the Matchroom Sport Championship. It's getting incredibly tense out there as the race to Desert Springs draws ever closer. So let's get back to the action and rejoin your commentators.
Thanks, Sian. Things still very nicely poised here in the Matchroom Sport Championship. Griffiths has done well, I think, to control the situation today. He hasn't exactly broken away from the rest, but he's managed to keep his nose in front despite the best attentions of players like this. Former amateur now turned professional, Ashley Chester's, making that decision relatively late in his 20s, but it looks to me like a good decision.
Yeah, it certainly does. This is a very well controlled shot. Only a very lofted club, not far away, but the ball slightly below his feet on a tall, willowy figure. He's got to stay down, keep his posture, and he executed it beautifully, as we could see from the result.
Back to Ryder Cup star Philip Price at 16. I know we keep saying that, but it is a tremendous achievement to get into that competition, but to beat Phil Mickelson in the singles, to be part of that great win.
Griffiths has played a really clever approach in here to the 12th. He knew he wouldn't get the grab because he was coming out the rough. He landed it just short, a couple of hops up, and that's left him a really makeable birdie putt.
Yeah, dare I say it, another opportunity. You just feel he needs that break. He needs to move his score forward. Will it be now? Yes, it will. Wasn't much in that putt at all, so just a nice judgment on the line and wrapped it well into the back of the hole. Moves to 11 under, and Griffiths, once again, just gets a bit of daylight.
Oh, another awkward little chip for Phil Price, which again, we're watching a master at work. He's picked his spot as to where to land it and let it trickle down to the hole. Chance of saving his par.
Chesters rolls it in, so blow for blow, as it were, at that hole between Chesters and Griffiths, but still that single shot difference between the two. Back to Philip Price. I'm going with exquisite after that last shot.
Exquisite's good. Be exquisite if he knocks this in.
Oh, another great up and down from Price, and running for cover.
Yeah, the old rain's coming down a bit hard. As we take a look at the par 5, very big par 5 14th. Again, slight dog leg to the left. You've got to avoid all these bunkers that we're just going past. The bigger hitters will be able to get there for 2, but otherwise you play up to the middle of the fairway and leave yourself a sort of 80-yard pitch in to this heart-shaped green, which is surrounded by bunkers, and again some tricky putting with slopes left and front.
Well, Chester's finding himself in a bit of bother on one of these fairway bunkers. He's got to be just a touch careful of that lip, and he knew it. He had to throw that up and really just take his medicine.
Yeah, they were, as we could see on the flyover, they're definitely to be avoided, and to have come up onto the upslope and only about 18 inches from the lip. So easy to catch the lip. It bounces back, hits you on the foot or something, and you end up with a penalty as well as not getting yourself out of the bunker.
Yes, very good point. Now, trailing by 3, that's been the story of the day, really, for Tarver Jones. I said he's played with a smile on his face, sometimes a smile of resignation when it hasn't quite gone his way. Oh, that one nearly did. Well, he's played some beautiful stuff from the fringes today, just hasn't quite found the putts. Now, Griffiths from the fluffy stuff.
Yeah, this is a good line, though, down this right-hand side. The lie looked good. Sounded as though he got a pretty good contact on it, and he fancies he can reach it with a very long sort of driving iron, what used to be the old 1 iron or something.
If you're not so long on these big par 5s, what's your mindset on the tee?
Well, I think there is actually a chance for people who aren't so long. The key is to stick to your game plan. If you're going to be any good, you've got to be really good from about 80 yards with a full sand wedge, and that's what you do. You put it that distance away, take dead aim at the pin, and try and give yourself a birdie putt from that range.
Well, our two leaders making a little bit of a rickets at the moment at 14. Back to Tarver Jones as another burst of rain comes through his part of the course. That doesn't put him off, and that's better. I love it. Still waving to the gallery, Peter, and enjoying himself out there. Griffiths then from the sand. Well, that was always a danger from there, and that's left him with a bit of work still to be done. Now then, let's get to the 16th and John.
Well, 178 of absolute pure adrenaline. You think of it, you could be leading this tournament with a shot, 2 shots lead, but you come to 16, well, you got to try and dodge this bullet. Now, what a hole. Water from start to finish, pretty much. beautiful narrow green, 2 big bunkers at the back, and there's a bunker actually hidden in the middle front part of this green that you can't see because of the rushes that have grown over this beautiful summer we've had. If the pin on final day is on the right hand side, which is an absolute country mile away, you know, if you bail out to the left, that's a tall order to get up and down. I mean, I've got 6 iron, which is, well, nowhere near enough today because that wind is so gusty. I'm going to ask my caddy, probably a 4 iron actually, my friend. Just getting a little gentle one up into the breeze. What's this one? Back of the stance, take my medicine. Make sure I'm over the water and deal with it after that. Well, I've absolutely ripped that. That's got to be there, and that's turning onto the flag. Come on, baby, keep coming, keep coming. Get the legs. On it has, scraped over the bunker, putting surface, that's what you need.
Thanks, John. Scene set nicely, and that's the scene on the leaderboard. Griffiths still with the lead at 11 under by a single shot. Now, strange decision here from Tarver Jones.
Yes, obviously we didn't see what happened to his first ball, but it was obviously unplayable, and his options for dropping were limited, I suspect, because of the water hazard. So he's opted to go back and play 3 from the tee. So not the normal decision, because normally by the edge of the green you'd have been able to drop it within a couple of club lengths or something, but obviously the water hazard and the option of keeping the spot between him and the hole wasn't really available to him.
Well, great save from Chester's. Neither he or Griffiths making a particularly good effort here at this par 5 14th, but he'll take that save. Now let's hear about Griffiths from Kit.
It's a great par save from Chester's, but this is a huge opportunity for Griffith. His slender 1-shot advantage could become 2 here if he rolls in this birdie putt.
Well, Kit's setting the scene nicely for us. Let's see if Griffiths has read and understood the script. He certainly has. Good birdie.
Back to a 2-shot advantage. He's done it a couple of times today. Can he hang on to it now? Now Tarver Jones, trials and tribulations at 16. He's heading for one of those nice colourful scorecards that the pros don't really like. Oh no, very good effort, but for the drama from tee to the fringes of the water earlier on, he'd have played that hole very well, but unfortunately for him, a double bogey then.
So as we take a look at the 15th, another very big par 4, dogleg to the right, quite a generous fairway with some light rough either side, so not too difficult a tee shot, and then it's all about picking the right line into the green. His first big bunker doesn't really affect the players, but if you come up a bit short, those 2 deep ones on the right there will be a problem, but the ball can be fed in for the left. Let's see what happens.
A nice cushion then for the closing stretch for this man. Griffiths, a little bit of rain on the green as well should make them receptive, and that is very nicely played. He's just got to manage it from here on for his first EuroPro Tour win.
Here's the rain. Tiffles down at this moment.
Tiffles, is that southwest expression?
Yeah, my answer.
Very nice from Chester's as well. Do you notice how easy I made it sound for Curtis Griffiths to finish the job here? It's far from easy, especially with guys like this in the field.
Big towering shot, dead on line there from Price, and a great hit.
Now that rain that was driving into Chester's face on his approach has relented. Should make the putt more comfortable, but he's got to give it a wrap. Now it's coming down the slope, then goes up again, and then a drift towards the hole, and in it goes, and pressure is back on his playing partner. That's a magnificent putt.
Wow, that was some putt. No wonder he's smiling. Well done, actually, Chester's.
Moves him to 11 under, just 1 off the lead for the moment, as Philip Price looks for something at 17. Fair amount of break on this one. Beautifully read, beautifully struck.
Yeah, the putting generally today has been, we've seen some very, very good putting from these players at the top of the leaderboard.
Now this to restore the 2-shot lead. No, not to be. not to be. So a tap in to drift back to just that single shot advantage. How quickly a tournament can change. Well, as the rain lashes down, Griffiths still with that lead, and it's still that head-to-head between Griffiths and Chesters at the top of the leaderboard. That looks like it's the way it's going to play out here at the Matchroom Sport Championship over the closing holes. Well, generally it's been a constant, if slim, advantage that Curtis Griffiths has managed to maintain throughout this final round. And with 3 left to play, it's a case of can he complete the job here in Sussex? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the closing holes of the Matchroom Sport Championship here at the fabulous East Sussex National. Well, it really does look a picture at this time of the year. We've had a sprinkling of rain, though, during the course of this final round, but it should be a really exciting finish. Looking forward to this one, and it's all gone a bit match play. Griffiths versus Chesters at the moment.
It's exciting, Simon. We watch Ashley Chesters playing a sort of punchy 3/4 follow through. Sit down, sit down. Yeah, nicely judged.
Yeah, he'll take that at the tricky 16th. Now, this man is the player that's had the most up and down time of it today. Once again, the driving rain for Peter Tarver-Jones, but happy enough with that tee shot, picking it up early is usually a good indicator, and that's a very nice position for him at 17.
Good until they got to the start.
Now back to Griffiths and back to the match play situation. 1-shot lead for this man. He's maintained it well during the course of today. Oh, looking after this one. Needs to come back. Oh, it does so. Well, brilliant again.
Yeah, very good. It's real cut and thrust.
Tarver-Jones second into 17. He probably could have done something today, but he's given a little bit too much back to the course. So playing for position here, playing for money on the Race to Desert Springs Order of Merit, and that's a super shot. Now let's hear from John at the 18th.
Well, here I am on the 18th tee box, 454 yards, and what a beauty it is. I mean, where you are right now, you're about 121 yards away from me, and this just turns this one into an absolute different beast altogether. Beautiful clubhouse in the distance, absolutely picture perfect to the eye. Fantastic bunkers at about 220 yards off this tee, with massive thick rough running round all the way up the right hand side, and an embankment around the green as well. If I was a betting man, best play when it's downwind like it is today, and this is the normal wind by the way, is take on the bunkers on the right, because if you can get up on that right hand side, it creates a great angle in for the second. So I'm going to give it a good old crack it, and I'm going to take on the bunkers. So come on Johnny, downwind and ride that wind, come on. And that is exactly where I wanted him, just over the bunker there. Nice bounce for me. That's running its heart out. Right, let's have a look at the second. Whew, I got a big walk back to you, haven't I? Right, here we go guys, smack bang in the middle of this fairway, coming up 18, exactly where you want to be, with 10 grand on the line and a EuroPro Tour title at your feet and in your grasp. I mean, I've only got about 125 yards to go, pitch and wedge in hand, pin today, back left, probably the hardest pin position you could get on this green. You've got to absolutely nail it. If you've got the minerals in you, you're just going to go dead aim, land it nice and soft, and hopefully give yourself a birdie putt and come out champ. Now, middle of the green here, drift it off the right hand side. Look at that grandstand, look at that clubhouse, unbelievable stuff. That one turning in, like I say, keep coming baby, be the club. Oh, I think it is a club, little bit of chubby checker, and that's a 15-footer coming down the slope. Knees are jangling, all that baby, winner takes it all.
I love it, John giving the minerals an outing. I haven't heard that one for a while. Well, slightly different weather conditions for Joe Dean for his second shot into 18. I watched a lot of golf from the top of the slope at the back of 18. It's a lovely amphitheatre, and unfortunately that's not a great shot. Let's hear from Kid Alexander again.
It's really become a match play situation now between our leading two. Both have hit the green and spun off just onto the fringe. Chester's is furthest away. He'll be able to putt first, maybe put some pressure on Griffiths' shorter putt for birdie.
Here we go then, Chester's to try and pressurise. Well, full marks for giving it a wrap, but that was a little bit too lively, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you would say full marks for something, but not what he would want to leave himself. Look how heavy the rain's coming down now, forming puddles. So we look at Phil Price.
Yes, the liquid sunshine getting a bit too heavy, I'm afraid. Now Griffiths won't be feeling pressure after that putt from his playing partner.
Now, if this was to go in, I think seeing the speed that the first one went past, it perhaps did just frighten him a little bit, but at the back of his mind, you know, I'll get my 3 and you've still got to hold this 7-footer coming back.
Yeah, so still room for change at 16 between our two leaders. For Tarver Jones at this very tough 17th. Trying to tidy things up. I do like the way he's played today. I love his smiley attitude out there on the fairways. I think he's a man that's very comfortable with his game at the moment. Won't be long before we see another result for him. Now Chester's for this tough par to stay at 11 under. How was that for nerve?
Yeah, that was brave. How many self-inflicted pain. So, as we look at the 17th, which has been the second hardest hole this week, very tough hole surrounded by water, left, right, crosses the fairway. Very, very important. Get that drive out there, just around the 300-yard mark. And then we're playing the water. We've got to stay away from the right, from the watery grave. Lots of thick grass and rushes around the green. This is a really hard hole and could be a game changer.
Griffiths then, so far, has negotiated this very nicely indeed. Now telling that marvellous par save from Chester's. The second one he's hit, by the way, on this back 9 is going to be. And that is a concern for Griffiths.
Just looks like the same swing that he always makes there. Very lithe and athletic. Good release, forearm rotation, but a little bit too much rolling of the arms because the club face was closed and it's gone and hooked a bit left.
Those weather conditions not great, but I think we're going to be fine to finish this tournament. And under the lip of the bunker, Joe Dean. Oh, get in. That's the way to finish your round. And the young man has done it in style. Well done, Joe Dean. Another very good week on the EuroPro Tour.
It is very nice to sign off with that. Hold out the sand. Good effort.
Back to Chester's. Is the door open just a little bit here to get in amongst it?
Almost exactly the same look down the hole as his playing partner. Yeah, pretty good heart of the green. He'd have hoped for a bit closer, particularly with his partner having just missed to the left, but safely on the dance floor.
I'm afraid Price has been upstaged by his playing partner Dean. Whatever he does with this putt, it's for par. And not to beat. But wonderful to see Philip Price in the field this week. Very nice to hear from him earlier on today. And that's a good, solid tournament performance from him.
Yeah, it's all keeps your game in shape, as he says, as he approaches 50 and looking at the European Seniors and maybe the American Champions Tour.
Now back to Griffiths. This is probably the shot of his tournament. Come on.
That showed very good nerve there. Wet, thickish grass. it would have been very easy to make a mess of that, but he's played a good shot and given himself a 4 or 5 footer. As we look at Tarver Jones letting fly on the 18th.
A rather nasty thud noise from that landing. Can he do a Joe Dean, as we're now calling it, at 18?
Chester's across the green. A little bit of movement from right to left. Oh, what a putt.
Oh. And this tournament just got very interesting indeed. And that takes Griffiths out of the equation almost. What a putt.
Well, that was fantastic.
Look at that, eyes wide open and staring. He meant business there, and he's back probably on level terms. It's put a lot of pressure on Griffiths' putt. Now then, from the sand, can he do it? Not bad, you know.
Yeah, that's a very good, very good bunker shot from sort of 40 yards away from the pin. Excellent.
This is a must-make putt then, after that clonker from his playing partner. This is what it's about with this match play head-to-head feel. No. Oh, he knew it as well. As soon as he struck that, that was a horrible watch.
Yeah, rueful shake of the head. All to play for on 18.
A drop shot from Griffiths means that he no longer has the lead. Tarver Jones tidies up nicely. A 74, I said it was a colourful scorecard. It's exactly that.
Yeah, there were plenty of chances. Some were lost on the greens, and then that wayward effort on the par 3.
Look at this, right at the last, Chesters takes the lead. Marvellous putt to go to 12 under. And that means that side by side on the green, it's back to our head-to-head. And Griffiths has got to throw a really good dart here if he's going to have any chance. Oh, that is a very nice approach. So a little bit of pressure back on his playing partner.
You're going to admire them. Chester's watching closely. They'll learn a lot, but a yard or so nearer for Ashley Chesters. Sounds good, watching it closely though.
Oh, a little slump of the shoulders. He knew that was in the lap of the gods. A ricochet off the front of the green. And that's put him in a bit of trouble, and we could be heading, well, dare I say it, for playoff.
You never know. Let's see what happens here. Lie looks quite good, Simon. It's right over the fringe. Let it ease its way out. That, I'm afraid, was poor.
And he knows it. He's in a fight now for his par. What happened here?
I think it's just the wrong choice of club. The lie was good, but very easy to slide. The lie was almost too good. But so often these players, they automatically reach for a very lofted one. That generally needed a little bit straighter face club. Get it on the green, let it run at the hole.
Griffiths can change everything. Oh, and I guess a putt like that tells you that finally the pressure has come home to roost for the Wentworth man. Oh dear me. And these two having a real struggle at 18, so Chesters with this putt to stay at 12 under. No, the shot is dropped. Griffiths can still tie the scores.
Yeah, funny game. Funny what pressure does. And then we see an excellent 69, but Ashley Chesters will be very, very disappointed with that 5.
Well, it's messy, but it's exciting. This to stay at 11 under, and this to take it back down the 18th. Oh, he's done it.
Yes, indeed. That's wonderful. That's exciting. It's nice to have another hole.
Well done, boys. Well, not an 18 that they would like to remember in terms of that final hole, but 70 good enough to send Griffiths into a playoff with Chesters to see who takes the Matchroom Sport Championship away from the East Sussex National at the end of a really tough day's golf out there with the rain coming down in fits and starts. It's a pair of 11 unders that will take it back down the 18th and into another playoff this season. So Curtis Griffiths and Ashley Chesters prepare to go down 18 again. Rules explained, and the draw for who's going to tee off first. And I think both men have to put to the back of their minds how they played this. First part of the hole they played well, didn't do it particularly well at the back end.
No, it's a difficult approach. The tee shot's not too difficult. You've got to avoid this myriad of bunkers on the right there and stay away from the trees on the left. But the hard part is picking the right club for the second shot. We saw several players in regular play catching this front bunker and leaves a very difficult shot. So it's all about picking the right club for the second shot and then trust your swing and let's see what happens.
Well, it's pretty much been match play for the last couple of hours between these two anyway, so why not extend it for another hole? First to tee off then, Curtis Griffiths. No holding back there. Little nervous look though, looks like it's drifting away to the side of that fairway. He has found a bunker. Oh dear.
Oh, that is difficult because those are pretty deep bunkers. That's not what he wanted.
On the fairway then, and Chesters is in business.
For left!
No. No commentary required to tell you where that's gone. Oh dear.
Have we got that, guys?
Well, it's never good when it disappears from sight, Gary.
No, it's not. And again, big turn, but you can just see the club just drops a little bit too quickly down underneath, which is the way Chesters swings the club. But again, his hands have wrapped over and put some hook on it. Let's hope it's playable.
From the sand. Bit of nerve required. Needed to nip that off the top. Seems to have negotiated the first part successfully. And he's back in play.
Yeah, sensible. Get a good contact, get it over that high lip. And can't win it from here, but could lose it.
We can certainly lose it from here. Backswing looks to be impeded.
Yeah. Just outside the water hazard, but as you say, Simon, a restricted backswing, all he can do is chop it back in the middle of the fairway.
So we're kind of back to square one. The green staff with the squeegees. It's been a long day from their point of view already, as you will have seen earlier in the show with their 4 AM start. But just looking to make sure that everything finishes on a level playing field and a dry playing field as far as possible. Chesters then with his approach, and that'll help.
Yeah, that's a good steadier, and again puts the pressure back on Griffiths.
Griffiths just short of that path, but has got the bunkers to come over to this flag. How aggressive does he want to be?
I think he'll be going for this, which he has done, but he's a little bit wide of the mark, but good shot.
So 3 shots later, we have a putting competition to decide where this title goes. So tough swinging the club under this pressure.
It is, I mean, but this is what these guys train for. This is all the practice. This is why you're out here, is to give yourself that opportunity. They've earned the right, they're good players. Go and win it, one of them.
First throw of the dice then. Oh, he's only drained it. He's only gone and found a fabulous putt. And that is massive pressure now on Ashley Chesters, who has to make his to go back to the tee. Otherwise, that man, Curtis Griffiths, has won the title.
Oh, that was a real bloody blow. Tremendous sort of thump in the guts that must be like if you were a boxer.
He gave it a go, but you're right, Gary, the stuffing was knocked out of Ashley Chesters, with that fabulous putt, and Curtis Griffiths claims his maiden EuroPro Tour victory. Well done to him. It only took one hole then to break the deadlock between these two. Curtis Griffiths holding his nerve and holding out for his first EuroPro Tour win. A fantastic result on the personal level, but in the greater scheme of things and on the EuroPro Tour, there is always the bigger picture to consider. It means £10,000 in the Race to Desert Springs account, and that puts him in the top 5. But it's two-time winner Matthew Court that still leads in that all-important top 5. Right, let's hear from the champion and the runner-up.
At the start, when it just started raining heavily, it was like bearable, but to the end, everything was just soaked. I made a silly mistake down 17, and then obviously Ashley bogeyed the last. And then we both sort of made a bit of a mess up with our tee shots off 18 in the first playoff hole. Yeah, and then just hold a good putt on the last to sort of clinch it back.
Obviously it's disappointing not to win in the end, but just to get to the playoff was quite good because I really didn't play very well at all today. The only thing I did well was putted. Yeah, I didn't drive it particularly well. I kept it in it left. Didn't chip particularly well, but I obviously just had a great day on the green. So just to get in the playoff was very pleasing. Just a shame I couldn't quite finish it off.
Well, as you can see, the weather's taken a drastic turn for the worse, but it hasn't stopped us having a thrilling finish, has it, Kit?
No, there's been some tricky conditions, but the boys put some great golf out there and it was an exciting finale.
And what a great result there for Curtis.
Absolutely, he's shown some good form all season and he's finally got that win under his belt now.
Well, that's all we've got time for here at the East Sussex National, but join us next time when we'll be at the Oxfordshire.